Hogs are going to the Sweet 16. Vegas, baby. Mark pulls up. Foul line jumper, good. Tremont Mark has been Mr. Clutch.
This is the Gwatney Postgame Show, brought to you by Gwatney Chevrolet in Jacksonville and Gwatney Buick GMC in North Little Rock.
Left side, Brazil with the shot clock expiring, makes the three. Trevin Brazil with a three-pointer, Arkansas by 12.
With another edition of Arkansas basketball in the books, it's time to break down the game from every angle.
Graham steals ahead to Devo for a throwdown. Razorbacks turning it up.
Live from Walk-On's Sports Bistro in Little Rock, here is Wess Moore and Josh Neighbors.
Taylor's three has given A&M the lead. Here we go. They throw it into Mark. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Tremont gonna head to the basket, throws it up at the horn. It's good. 1.1 to go. Arkansas's gonna win the game. A&M threw it in. The ball went out of bounds, and the Hogs win it. The Hogs win the ball game. Tremont Mark with a basket. What a finish at Bud Walton Arena. How about that?
And that is just what the doctor ordered. Woo, Arkansas needed that. I don't know what happens for the rest of the season. I don't know what would have happened if they'd have lost that game, but I would have predicted it wouldn't have been good because they had a 20-point lead, lost that lead. Taylor hits a shot, a crazy shot, three-pointer to give A&M the lead with 7 seconds. That would have been deflating. As low as this team was already, if they lose that game, Josh, I think the season crumbles.
Yeah, it absolutely does. You know, you and I were talking this morning, and I said, hey, you know, I think this is one of those games they went. I actually thought, Wes, it would look more like the first half, right? Whereas just A&M had this really awesome win at home in overtime against what I think is an awesome Kentucky team. You know, they're going shot for shot with everybody, even in those tough environments right now. They get that really great win. And Arkansas needed to have a win. So it was just one of those where, hey, you know, kind of emotionally it was where just Arkansas needed it to be, and they came out red hot. And they looked like the team that was more urgent. And then all of a sudden, the game really slowed down for a variety of reasons, as we'll talk about. But, you know, they crawled back into it as the pace of the game slowed down and the openness kind of became more closed, if you will. So, yeah, this was, you know, but by hook or by crook, right? You take the victory. Arkansas needed it. 78-77. I couldn't believe it. When A&M had the lead, I was like, my God, they're winning this game. And we heard it in the postgame show. They only led for 7 seconds. 7 seconds of the game they led, but they were able to make it close. Then Arkansas, Tremont Mark, fantastic shot.
Yeah, that's one of those. This is a game you have to write down. You remember if the season turns around and they get on a winning streak and make it to the tournament, this is the game to remember. This is where it all started, and it all started with that one shot for Tremont Mark. We're going to take some phone calls. If you want to get in here, I know it's a late night, but I got a feeling a lot of people are still celebrating at 11:30. We are not at Walk-Ons tonight. They closed a little early due to the icy conditions and the roads refreezing. And so, you know, they had to be safe for their employees, and we wanted to, you know what, come to the studio. So we'll tell you about Walk-Ons throughout the show and how great of a place it is to watch the game.
We'll be there on Saturday.
And I would encourage everybody to come out Saturday a little early, get you a table, and hang out with us as Arkansas takes on South Carolina at noon Saturday. What a start for Arkansas in this game. To score the first 6 points of the game. Defense was great to start the game. Man, they were locking down. A&M took a lot of threes. Contested threes. There were a couple open threes, but A&M kept missing. They were 1 of 15 at one point tonight, and that's what helped Arkansas out to that 20-point lead. Man, they were rolling. They were clicking. It was great. It was fun offensive basketball to watch for a while, Josh. They were moving the ball. They were working it inside to the paint. It wasn't so much like the post player was trying to make a move inside, but they would get it inside, and Lawson did a great job of finding the open guy, and then they knocked down the shot.
Yeah, the ball was moving. You know, that's the one thing we had talked about with the other games. The ball was sticking way too much, and guys were being indecisive. No, this was aggressive drives, going to the rim, and then, you know, if you're around the rim and you see more than one defender, it was kicking it out to the outside. They were trying to get guys open. They were getting guys open, right? And they were all over the place, and they were confident. Right, the shots were going up, and even if they didn't make them, they took the next shot. Right, they got the board or whatever it was. They would miss, then get a stop, and come back down and take the same shot over again. Different guy, maybe different spot, same spot. it was a really good effort in terms of confidence with shooting and confidence and moving that ball around because that's what they needed to do, and they have not done so far this season.
Yeah, Jeremiah Davenport took a three, and it hit the side of the glass. And you're like, oh, my gosh.
Not deterred, but not deterred.
He is a great shooter. And then he comes down and hits back-to-back threes at the under 8-minute timeout. That's when Arkansas led by 20, 30-10. And then Davenport, you just the smile on his face. It was almost like a relief for the entire team that they were playing good offensive basketball all of a sudden, and they could take a breath and just then enjoy the game. And that was refreshing to see. And I hope that – and look, the second half was different. A&M played it defensively different. Yeah. The officials called it different.
Yes.
And so and that's Musselman. I mean, he doesn't like all the fouls called on his team, but he wants his team to get to the free throw line. And as soon as they saw how tight they were calling it, Arkansas just put their head down and went to the basket every single time and lived at the free throw line in the second half.
Attempted 40 free throws in the game, right? 40 free throws on the whole game. And in the second half, let's see, they attempted 26 free throws, 18 to 26 second half. So they were aggressive, getting to the rim the entire game. In the first half, felt like more to open up things, right? It was kind of opening up, but the shot, it's kind of one of those things later in the game. You're a bit more tired, so the shots go up when you're at the rim. You're not looking to pass and move the ball as fast. You're at the rim, you try to finish. But that's the part I like. Like LLS, 15 points, 3 of 11 shooting, right? But he goes 8 for 8 from the line. So I thought Arkansas did win this game at the free throw line. I thought that was a huge part of it.
He had 2 huge assists in the second half.
Yes, he did.
One of them went to Devo for a three-pointer, and he also had an assist to Ellis. Ellis had a layup, and then he comes down, and then on the next possession, drives in again and kicked it out to Tremont Mark for a 3. And that was a little 5-point swing right when A&M had cut the deficit to 5 at that point, and that got it back out to 10.
We did mention how good Tremont Mark was. It's easy to say it when a guy scores that much, but he is the guy to me that just stands out above the rest. And the thing that helps you out in March, if they can make it to March, is having a guy like that, right? A guy where it's just, their backs were up against the wall. They had played this game where I thought they were much better than A&M. The pace kind of saw in this weird contest where, Taylor's got 41 points on 32 shots, and there's and he's the only guy who's really done anything offensively for them the entire night, and they're down 1. But the thing is, because they were in such a tight game, they could go to a Tremont Mark, and he ends up creating that shot at the very end. And he was efficient from the field, 8 of 15. The free throw line, he was tremendous tonight, 17 of 22. That is forcing the issue, and that's in a positive way. That's the kind of they need to support him more around him. Obviously, that's the big part. I think the big takeaway here is a little more support around him. But when you have a guy like that, they can carry you. And I think we've been saying this for most of the year. Just they have to put themselves in a place where they can let him carry them at times, but not be the primary guy. But he was the primary guy tonight, and they needed every single point from him.
Let's take a couple phone calls. JW is going to start us off tonight. JW, welcome into the Gwatney Automotive Postgame Show.
Hey, guys. Hey, that was a much-needed win.
Yes.
I believe if we didn't get that, we were going to collapse, and I'm not too sure if we're still not. I hear the celebration, guys, but I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Again, we lose a 20-point lead. You don't think going into March you're not going to be able to do that?
They're not there yet, no. No. They're
not. The football team, they play 2 halves. Why is it that we can play so good? And just like the game when we were up 20-something before, they scored like 17 unanswered points in that few games back. Why are we giving up such major guys, what is the deal? I know we're all happy about the win, but look, it shouldn't even came to that.
JW, here's how I would explain it. And you said it, and I've already said it, this was a huge confidence builder for this team. They don't have much confidence right now. Coach Musselman, and we'll hear from him later, but he was talking about all week, we got to get our swagger back.
Yeah.
They got the swag back in the first half. Second half, they lost it. They lost it, and you could see their shaken confidence. This is still a fragile team. They're not there yet. They're still a long way from a finished product, and I think you saw that in the second half. They lost their confidence. You saw how fragile they are, and they almost fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if I'm Musselman, sorry, JW, if I'm Musselman, I'm not even addressing the 20-point blown lead. I'm not doing it because your team is not in a spot mentally where that's what we need to be. We need to be focusing on the victory and then scouting ahead and using what we play well, because we've seen their confidence just be so shaken. I mean, it's actually shocking to me they came out and built that much of a lead because of what we had seen offensively to this point. So I think, honestly, it's one of those where you might just let it go. I know it's a weird thing to say, but you might have to let that slide because of where your team is mentally, and you can build off the result.
I've been really, really hard on them about not being tough, being flimsy, being scared to play. I'm glad they draw some blood tonight. They were busting eyeballs. They were getting in there, and that's what they need. I think this win may push them to have that little bit of fight in them, knowing that, hey, they just beat Texas A&M just beat Kentucky. So these guys can play. We beat Purdue. I think it is a confidence issue, and I think just them getting in there fighting like they did. I mean, we were busting eyeballs and sending them to the sideline. That's what we're going to have to do, and I'm just glad we got it, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah.
I will say too, got to give the opponent a little credit. A&M's a very good team.
Yeah.
They battled back and they earned. And they made some key shots to get back into this game. But then there were several times. I just pointed out one. A&M made a little run. It was a 5-point game. And you're like, oh, they're going to blow it. They're going to blow this. And back-to-back big plays. Back to a 10-point game. And here comes A&M. Arkansas responded. I thought one of the maybe worst calls of the night, and there were a lot of bad calls, on the free throw attempt, Arkansas missed a free throw. Jeremiah Davenport got the rebound, and they called him for over the back or a push or something. It was a terrible call, and instead of Arkansas getting possession of the ball, instead A&M goes down, shoots 2 free throws, makes both, and it's a 2-point game. That's a huge swing right there, but yet Arkansas responded to that. There were so many times they answered the call tonight.
They managed it well.
Let's go to Toby. He's in Little Rock. Toby, welcome into the Gwatney Automotive Postgame Show.
Hey, thank you so much, guys, for taking my call. And I just simply got to reiterate some of the things that have already been said. But I think the value of a Tremont Mark really showed big tonight. And coming from the Houston program that he came from, a winning, bona fide program, whereby you had other superstars on the team as well. And so when we do have those times when we, our backs are up against the wall and we are, the guys, you can tell that, they're shaking. It is so good to have somebody that they can go to. And that's what Tremont Mark gives his team. And another thing, Debo has to control himself a little bit more. I mean, for the past couple of games now, he's made some stupid bonehead plays in terms of pushing a player down and kicking people and all this kind of stuff. I mean, in critical times, you cannot have that. You would think you would not get that from him. But tonight, I think the team showed character in being able to come back, but you have absolutely got to have that one player that you can go to. And I think it ought to be known now, it's Tremont Mark that we need to build this team around to continue our win. And I'll hang up and listen.
Toby, thank you for the call. Thank you for listening and staying up late with us. All right, we're just getting started. When we come back, we will address Devo. We got a hit on that. Devo gets the flagrant 2 and was ejected from the game with 4 minutes and 41 seconds left. That was bad. That hurt. You can't lose one of your top defenders late in the game like that. He would have made a difference somehow during this game in the last 4:41, I believe, and maybe it would have come down to Tremont Mark. But Arkansas gets the win. They improved to 1-3 in the SEC. Got to dig out of that hole. That's a start. We're just getting started. This is the Gwatney Automotive Postgame Show.
The Big Game is brought to you by Pulaski County's only Buick GMC dealer, Gwatney Buick GMC. Shop the latest GM has to offer: Encore, Terrain, Yukon, or the most advanced tailgating machine in the business, GMC Sierra. Give us a call,
945-4444, or shop us online, GwatneyBuickGMC.com.
5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GMC, we are professional grade.
Gwatney for Buick, Gwatney for GMC, Gwatney for life.
Injured at the game? Don't wait. With Ortho Arkansas Saturday Sports Clinic, athletes can find out over the weekend if their injury will sideline their season. Athletes are seen by one of Ortho Arkansas's fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians and may receive x-rays, an MRI, an exam and diagnosis, and a personalized comprehensive treatment plan to get them back in action as quickly as possible. Open Saturdays from 9 to 11 a.m. at 800 Fair Park Boulevard in Midtown. Ortho for all. Ortho Arkansas.
First Security has been putting our home state first since 1932, helping fellow Arkansans and their families buy homes, grow businesses, and build futures. Today, First Security is still committed to helping you bank better, providing local solutions and local support in the places we love too. It's community banking with people you know and people you know you can count on. First Security. Bank better. fsbank.com. Member FDIC.
At Arch Marine, we just called in our latest flock of hunting boats. Look at these ambush boats by Legend Craft. The perfect style and function for years of successful hunts. How about letting us customize a well-built boat for your particular needs? Vary any of our boats with a Tatsu outboard. All the boats at Arch Marine are rugged, and our selection and prices are unmatched in Central Arkansas. We also offer full service on ATVs. So before you hit the deer woods, come let our certified technicians make sure you don't have any breakdowns this fall. Get in now before these deals fly away. Your granddaddy trusted Arch Marine, and so can you.
Take your yard up to the next level with the Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Josh Dickinson is a former PGA Tour caddy, and his landscape designs are inspired by some of the most beautiful golf courses around the world. Call Josh at 501-794-2770 for all of your landscaping needs. Flower beds a mess? Josh's crew can give your home the curb appeal you've always wanted. The Caddy's Touch Landscaping also installs French drains, retaining walls, and they'll even take care of your irrigation maintenance needs. The Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Call today, 501-794-2770.
Rowdy Hog Pickleball is the only dedicated pickleball store in Arkansas. Whether you love to dink or smash, their sales professionals can help you choose a paddle that fits your needs. Rowdy Hog Pickleball has everything you need to practice at home and play on the court. Get out of the kitchen and stop by to talk to one of their professionals to ace the new year. Located in the Outlet Mall down from H&M, Rowdy Hog Pickleball, your one-stop shop to pickleball success.
Tuesday edition of Morning Mayhem is in the books. Want to thank RJ Hawk and Trey Schapp for filling in while Roger, Baz, and Justin are on their way back from Aspen. The guys will be back tomorrow, Wednesday, 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 103.7 The Buzz.
Taylor's three has given A&M the lead. Here we go. They throw it into Mark. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Tremont going to head to the basket, throws it up at the horn. It's good. 1.1 to go. Arkansas is going to win the game. A&M threw it in. The ball went out of bounds, and the Hogs win it. The Hogs win the ball game. Tremont Mark with a basket. What a finish at Bud Walton Arena. How about that?
What a great.
How about that, Wes?
Yeah, that was awesome. Still got a smile on my face. That meant so much to this team and to this season. Welcome into the Gwatney Automotive Postgame Show. We got some phone lines open, 661-1037. Jump on in now if you want to join us. That was a very hard second half to watch. It was not fun basketball. No. The SEC's got to do something. Yeah. SEC has to fix this problem of the officials who want to call every single foul. This game lasted 2 hours and 38 minutes. College basketball games are supposed to be 2 hours. Mm-hmm. That is even the time window that ESPN or CBS, whoever, that's what they give these games, 2 hours, because they're expecting it to be over and the next one to start. 2 hours and 38 minutes, and it did not go to overtime. We had 8 reviews. 8 times they stopped the game to go and look at the monitors. We had, in all, 73 free throws, 50 fouls. 50 fouls in a 40-minute game.
57 free throws in the second half.
That is ridiculous. And look, that won Arkansas the game. That mucked up, going to the free throw line, making their free throws. That's what won Arkansas this game. We've seen it year after year, time after time under Eric Musselman. He likes that. He wants his team to get to the free throw line, and when they start calling those little cheap fouls, he tells them, go to the basket. They're calling it. You're going to go to the free throw line, and that's what Arkansas does. You got to let them play. You've got to let them play. I was curious. The other game was going on at the same time, Georgia and South Carolina. And I was like, well, wow, there's only a minute left in their game. There was like 4 minutes left in the Arkansas game. And I was like, maybe this game's not running that much longer than it feels. It just feels like a really long game. And then I looked at the free throws for that game. 32 free throws for Georgia, 32 free throws for South Carolina. They combined to take 64 free throws. Arkansas and A&M 73 tonight. That's not fun basketball to watch. And it's simple. All it takes is the head of officials in the SEC talking to these guys and saying, guys, cut it out. Let them play a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing is, this is really noticeable in the SEC. If you watch basketball across all conferences, the one thing that's funny, they mentioned, the Big 12 is probably the best conference in the country. And they say the one thing Big 12 officials do is they actually let too much go. So when Big 12 teams show up in the tournament, it might do them a disservice because they're actually not used to the amount of fouls being called. But if you watch Big 12 games, that's what you want. You want the best teams in the country fighting it out and actually figuring it out on the court. You don't want the referees figuring it out for them. And look, I think last year there was a Mizzou-Arkansas game that saw, I think, probably the same neighborhood of free throw numbers that we saw tonight. And the game took, once again, Wes, it was another 2.5 hour plus game. There's no place for that in college basketball. There's no reason to. We should not be approaching college football game times with college basketball game. It just shouldn't happen.
You shouldn't have 2 hours and 38 minutes for a game that does not go to overtime.
No.
That should be like a double or a triple overtime game.
My God.
Fix it. Fix the issue.
Fix that, yes.
I wanted to give a little game ball to L. Ellis. I thought it was good to see him back in the starting lineup. It was good to see him get extended minutes and take advantage of those extended minutes. I thought L. Ellis played really well. He was key, 8 of 8 from the free throw line tonight. They needed every single one of those free throws. Had a couple of nice assists there in the second half that we've already discussed. But I thought L. Ellis gave them that point guard at times, and he was also a scoring threat to help Tremont Mark at times. Yeah,
I think it was important that, they've been shuffling lineups so much, and they're trying to figure out what the right one is. You go back to L tonight, and I thought, he did not look like a guy who was shaking confidence-wise at all, right? He goes 1 for 6 in the second half, sure, but 6 for 6 from the line, which was big, which shows you that he was still aggressive despite the fact that he was missing shots. And so we mentioned the assist, too. I mean, this was a guy that I think, all these guys almost reverted back to all right, I'm just going to play basketball the way I know how to. And it really worked out pretty well for the most part tonight when the game was actually flowing. So I thought L was a big benefactor of that.
I was very surprised that Layden Blocker didn't play more. Yeah. He got in at the end, and he had a key play. Layden was the one who got it looked like he had the rebound in his hands, and they had to go to the monitor for the 8th time to get it right. But you could see, I saw it, and the announcers never saw it. And I was like, dude, Layden's got that rebound, and you see the Aggie player slap at it, and it knocks it out of his hands, and it goes out of bounds. And sure enough, they reversed the call, gave the ball to Arkansas. But that was a big moment for Layden Blocker. That was a big play, good play for him.
Tight rotation tonight. I mean, you see Brazil has 34 minutes. Ellis, 31 minutes. 33 for Devo. Chandler Lawson, 27. Tremont Mark, 40. And then on the bench, 15 for Davenport, 12 for Menefield. Actually, they didn't credit Blocker with any minutes, but he was in there, obviously. And then Mitchell, 4, and Graham, 3. They tighten. Now, you can't do that every game. You're going to end up having a team that's absolutely spent. But luckily, different teams call for different diagnoses. So tight rotation and a gotta-have-it game. I don't think there's much of a coincidence there, Wes. Do you?
No, and Devo would have played more minutes if he wouldn't have been ejected with 4 minutes.
So actually, less guys would have gotten
Davenport would have had less minutes because he came in for Devo there at the end. I wanted to address the flagrant, too. First of all, it's a foul. It's an offensive foul on Devo, and it's probably a flagrant 1. I do not see that as a flagrant 2. I'm sorry. I think they got it wrong. I know Musselman lost his stuff over there. He was upset. The announcers were very surprised that it was called a flagrant 2. But if you missed it, Devo goes up for a shot. He's kind of falling away. He sticks his right foot out, and it catches the Aggie defender who was going up to block his shot and jumped kind of forward into Devo. Devo, kind of the Dirk Nowitzki kind of kick out.
Yes.
He kicked him and caught him right in between the legs. And to make matters worse, Devo almost used that as a step to kind of elevate a little higher, and it was almost like a double kick. And I don't see that as a flagrant two. I don't see that as a reason to be ejected from the game.
Right. I don't. Yeah. On those, I don't see them as ejections. I understand the flagrant one as a way to disincentivize kicking. Right. It's kind of the whole point. But I mean, you could also
make kicking your leg out on your shot.
You could also make the argument though that just an offensive foul would be too. But I guess the flagrant one is more of a disincentivizing type foul. You know, for me in the NBA, like when you see a Draymond Green get ejected for that, it's because we know he's a repeat offender. So I don't think it should be an ejection in my opinion, because I think, you know, you kind of save ejections for, and we actually don't have to worry about this in college as much because, like, you know, we don't have as much of a history, right, with Devo as we do with the Draymond, because you're playing 82 games and you don't have the built up kind of you know, all that animosity, I guess you could say, or history, if you will. But like, to me, yeah, I mean, it's a foul. I'm fine with it being a flagrant one if it's in the groin area, but flagrant two, come on. Tossing guy for that. And
it did not look like Devo didn't go up with the intent of kicking him there.
Right.
You know, he went up and basically it's an offensive foul like an arm bar. You know, when you go up and you use your arm to push off or to hold off a guy, he was doing the same thing with his leg and his foot just caught him in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
There wasn't that just kicking motion in midair like, I'm going to kick you right there. You know, I'm going to make you pay.
It must have been a point of emphasis, as they say, right? I mean, of course the officials ejection, but, you know, it's just rough night for the officials. Rough night.
Very rough night and a long night.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're paid by the whistle.
Yep.
And they made some extra money tonight. We'll take our second break. We'll hear from Eric Musselman when we come back, and we'll talk about some of the other key moments in the game. This is the Gwatney Automotive Postgame Show.
Woo Pig Suey, your official home for the Razorbacks. KABZ Little Rock, 103.7 The Buzz.
Arkansas's #1 Chevy dealer is a proud sponsor of the big game. Since 1957, Gwatney has had its own winning team. And with brand new team member Devo Davis, they can't lose.
I'm proud to know I have the support of my personal hometown dealership, Gwatney Chevrolet. Trading with Gwatney is a slam dunk.
Gwatney Chevrolet, 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Call 982-2102. GwatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Go Gwatney or go home.
This year, elevate your style in a Cadillac. Go from bold to bolder in a stunning Escalade. From inspiring to awe-inspiring in a sophisticated CT4 or CT5. From credible to incredible in a dynamic XT4. Visit your Central Arkansas Cadillac dealers.
First Security has been putting our home state first since 1932, helping fellow Arkansans and their families buy homes, grow businesses, and build futures. Today, First Security is still committed to helping you bank better, providing local solutions and local support in the places we love too. It's community banking with people you know and people you know you can count on. First Security. Bank better. FSBank.com. Member FDIC.
Injured at the game? Don't wait. With Ortho Arkansas's Saturday Sports Clinic, athletes can find out over the weekend if their injury will sideline their season. Athletes are seen by one of Ortho Arkansas's fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians and may receive x-rays, an MRI, an exam and diagnosis, and a personalized comprehensive treatment plan to get them back in action as quickly as possible. Open Saturdays from 9 to 11 a.m. at 800 Fair Park Boulevard in Midtown. Ortho for all. Ortho Arkansas.
The Rogers family for Capital Business Machines.
It's real important to keep going what our dad has started.
He had a good reputation and we want to continue that reputation. Business is about relationships And I think a lot of times it gets too corporate, too internet, too impersonal, and we want to continue that legacy that our dad has started. Treat people right, and they'll take care of you too.
Contact us today for a free document assessment at catbiz.com.
This is Pat Bradley for River City Flooring, where you can pick your payment. Get 0% interest for 12, 24, or 36 months, and River City Flooring in Maumelle is where you'll save 50% on all in-stock waterproof LVP flooring. And did you know River City Flooring carries cabinets? So stop in and let my friends at River City Flooring help you with your remodel. Kitchen, bath, living, dining, they do it all. Check out River City Flooring in Maumelle at their huge new showroom on Maumelle Boulevard just off 430.
Hey Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey. Check out the new location of Bell & Sword in Conway. Suits, shirts, vests, also polos with Arkansas logo gear from Johnny O and Peter Millar. A store within a store with Arkansas-made Martin Dingman shoes and leather goods. Fantastic service with a tailor on staff to fit you perfectly. Go to the new location, Bell & Sword, 1011 Oak Street, Conway, or on Facebook and Instagram.
Now's your chance to be a part of the team. Join the Razorback Foundation for as little as $50 to be first in line for tickets, seating, parking, and exclusive events with coaches and players. Plus, members get 20% off at Slim Chickens in Northwest Arkansas. Your membership provides 465 Razorback student-athletes with the resources they need to succeed in the classroom and in competition. Join by calling 479-443-9000 or visit RazorbackFoundation.com. As a Razorback Foundation member, you will experience a lifetime full of Razorback memories. Go Hogs!
Ellis drives the paint, kicks it away. Right wing, Devo's open three-pointer, good. Devo with a three, his first of the night. Arkansas by 10.
That's one of 6 made baskets by Arkansas in the second half. 6 made baskets in the second half.
Yeah.
They scored 32 points in the second half, 18 at the free throw line. Tremont Mark made 4 baskets in the second half. Devo had 1. L. Ellis had 1. That's it. It's hard to believe. First of all, they scored 32 points and only made 6 baskets. It's hard to believe you only made 6 baskets and you still found a way to win the game. But that was what it turned into down the stretch, a free throw shooting contest. It was funny, about 11 minutes left in the game, the announcers looked at what the time was, and they're like, there's still 11 minutes to play in this game. Both teams are in the bonus. We're going to be here for a while, and this is going to turn into a free throw shooting contest.
Yeah.
And they were exactly right.
Yeah, it's sad when games turn to that, but you know what, Arkansas, once again, we started off by saying this, Wes, by hook or by crook. You just had to have that win, and they got it. That's the most important part about it, man. And that's why we mentioned when JW called and said, the 20-point lead, I get it. But, just forget it. Just forget that it actually happened because you got the win. And you have another game. It's at home on Saturday. It's winnable. So I'm trying to feed as many positive vibes as I can. And you got Ole Miss on the road and then Kentucky at home after that. So you got to feed that positive vibes machine. If that means leaving some stuff, out there that you should talk about normally, I think you have to do it because I don't care how it looked in the end. 78-77 is the only thing that matters when your conference season started off the way it did for Arkansas.
And defended home court. You can't afford to lose more home games. All right, let's hear from Coach Musselman. A very happy Coach Musselman.
I guess Eric used to describe the last play was basically just put the ball in T. Mark's hands and let him go.
Yeah, I mean, we spaced the floor out. TB did, luckily we were able to get organized because we were out of timeouts. And we were able to set up a little bit of a press break, even though they kind of matched up, straight man. There was no, press as there had been, so to speak. And I thought that, we got the ball in the hands of who we needed to tonight because T. Mark was playing with such great confidence. And then we just spaced out. We had Davenport in one corner. We had L. Ellis in the other corner. We had, TB trailing as the inbounder. And then we had Minifield on the 45-degree angle on the left side and just said, there's no way we're taking a three. Like, we've got to go to the cup or at least get inside of that, 12, 14-foot range, really.
I know on the play-by-play goes as a layup, but it was a pretty clutch shot. Just what you think of the way T. Mark handled that?
Well, that's his. I mean, he's, I know that all the analytics people talk about, mid-range being a bad shot. It's been a really good shot for us at Arkansas. Jimmy Witt, Ricky Council, T. Mark. Like it's a great shot for him, not a good shot. I mean, he's a lethal pull-up jump shooter, 12 to 17 foot. And look, he had 35 points on 15 field goals attempted. And our guys did a great job of finding him, even this 2 threes. I know they were off spot up assists. And, we did a pretty good job on the glass, not great, but decent enough to win the game. And look, we led for 38 minutes. That's a drastic improvement from where we've been in our first 3 games to lead for basically the entire game. Give Texas A&M a ton of credit. They came back, had a great second half. They've had a lot of come from behind wins. It was an incredible shot by a great player in Wade Taylor. And they're super well coached. And they've been a hard matchup for us since I've been here.
Do you feel like they just didn't want to foul T. Mark on that last play, and that's why?
I don't ever, comment. I wasn't in, part of their. I know that we wanted to try to get the ball to the rim. Again, I did not want to see a 3-point shot for us at that juncture. I mean, we had been to the foul line 40 times and wanted to try to put as much pressure on the defense as we could.
Coach, as coming in at this,
I guess Eric. I guess.
I wanted to stop it right there because I thought, and I like Buzz a lot, Texas A&M's head coach, and I think he's a good head coach, he's really good coach, head coach. I thought he made a mistake at the end of the game calling that timeout, and as you just heard from Eric Musselman, that allowed them to draw up something, get settled, and figure out what they wanted to do after such a crushing shot that goes through the net and you lose the lead. That gave them a chance to regroup. And then I thought Buzz messed up because I knew, you knew, we all knew who was about to have the ball in his hands. You got to do whatever you can as a defense to get the ball out of Tremont Mark's hands. You run at him, you double him, you force him to pass the ball and make somebody else beat you. They allowed him to drive into his left, which that's his favorite thing to do, and pull up and hit a 8-footer for the game winner. I thought there were so many things that A&M did wrong at the end of the game that, they deserved to lose that after the way they butchered that last play.
They were lucky to be in the game. I mean, when your best player scores 41 points, I say 41 points, great, on 32 shots.
13 of 32.
13 of 32 shots. And, you didn't have – you had one Anderson Garcia was the only other guy in double figures tonight. Boots Radford was 2 of 15.
They did a great job on Boots.
On him. They did a great job on Boots the entire night. But that's a guy, and he didn't shoot well, but he still had 20-plus against Kentucky. When you lock up a guy like that and you say, Taylor goes 13 for 32, you feel like you have a pretty good chance. But once again, the free throws slowed things down. You made a great point, Wes, about the timeout, though, that Buzz Williams called, because the way Muss framed it, hey, we didn't set up a play, but we could stress the importance of spacing. Mm-hmm. Right? And guys know that sometimes intuitively. But sometimes it's one of those things if you get to say it in the huddle before, it makes all the difference. And Mark had plenty of space to operate. I will say this. Tremont Mark has had the benefit of watching a lot of really, really good individual scorers during his time at Houston. He got to, Marcus Sasser, for my money in the last few seasons, is one of the best guys that we've had in, I think, all of college basketball, just being an individual scorer. And they've had that at Houston for the last 2 or 3 seasons now, ever since he's been. Quentin Grimes. Another guy you got to watch now who's in the NBA too, a really good individual scorer. And it looks like Tremont Mark has just become actually another one of those guys. Mm-hmm. He looks a lot like those 2 guys I just mentioned, and he's able to do it now for Arkansas. And I don't think there's any doubt now, Wes, about, hey, games anywhere near being on the line, or it's a situation where Arkansas needs some kind of basket, whether it be first half, second half, stop a run, win the game. We know who's getting the ball.
Well, we saw it at the end of the first half. They put the ball in his hands. He did not make that shot. Brazil was fouled going up for the rebound and made 2 free throws right when they were walking into the locker room to extend the lead. But he is, no doubt, the go-to guy for Arkansas late game, late clock situations. Yep. All right, we can hear from more Coach Musselman later on. We're going to take a break. You are listening to the Gwatney Automotive Postgame Show on the Buzz Radio Network.
The Big Game is brought to you by Pulaski County's only Buick GMC dealer, Gwatney Buick GMC. Shop the latest GM has to offer: Encore, Terrain, Yukon, or the most advanced tailgating machine in the business, GMC Sierra. Give us a call,
945-4444, or shop us online, GwatneyBuickGMC.com.
5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GMC, we are professional grade.
Gwatney for Buick, Gwatney for GMC, Gwatney for life.
First Security has been putting our home state first since 1932, helping fellow Arkansans and their families buy homes, grow businesses, and build futures. Today, First Security is still committed to helping you bank better, providing local solutions and local support in the places we love too. It's community banking with people you know and people you know you can count on. First Security. Bank better. fsbank.com. Member FDIC.
Injured at the game? Don't wait. With Ortho Arkansas' Saturday Sports Clinic, athletes can find out over the weekend if their injury will sideline their season. Athletes are seen by one of Ortho Arkansas' fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians and may receive x-rays, an MRI, an exam and diagnosis, and a personalized comprehensive treatment plan to get them back in action as quickly as possible. Open Saturdays from 9 to 11 a.m. at 800 Fair Park Boulevard in Midtown. Ortho for all. Ortho Arkansas.
Take your yard up to the next level with the Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Josh Dickinson is a former PGA Tour caddy, and his landscape designs are inspired by some of the most beautiful golf courses around the world. Call Josh at 501-794-2770 for all of your landscaping needs. Flower beds a mess? Josh's crew can give your home the curb appeal you've always wanted. The Caddy's Touch Landscaping also installs French drains, retaining walls, and they'll even take care of your irrigation maintenance needs. A Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Call today, 501-794-2770.
Hey folks, this is Trey Johnson with HJ Trailer Sales in Hot Springs, and we have a big New Year's sale going on. All current inventory has been marked down, like a 23 Delta 32-foot 24K trailer down over $3,000. A Good Guys 35 plus 5 20K trailer marked down over $3,000 under MSRP. All these trailers come with a 1-year factory warranty. We have financing for everyone, whether you have good credit or bad credit. Come see why so many people are choosing to buy from HJ Trailer Sales. Check us out at Facebook or at hjtrailersales.com.
If you lose your pet in Wooded Rock, do you know where to look? Our city shelter, the Wooded Rock Animal Village, houses over 200 animals, so they can't tell you over the phone if your pet is there. Please go in person to 4500 Kramer off South University next to First Tee. Strays are available for adoption after 7 days, so when you're looking to adopt, please visit the Animal Village. You'll meet all ages, breeds, and sizes, and many are already trained. Just a $90 adoption fee covers shots, neuter, and microchip at Wooded Rock Animal Village.
Hey everyone, this is Heather Baker, president and publisher of AY Media Group here in Arkansas. We publish two of the biggest and most widely read magazines in the entire state, AY Magazine and Arkansas Money and Politics. At AY and Arkansas Money and Politics, we keep you up to date on all the news you need to know and the stories you want to hear. Visit us online at aymag.com and armoneyandpolitics.com to see for yourself. Now, more than ever, it is important to be mindful of where you get your news and support your local businesses. With AY Media Group, you get the best of both worlds.
Tune in to Out of Bounds each Monday for Reaction Monday, brought to you by Fleet Management Services. Serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years, they're your small to mid-sized fleet specialists. Fleet Management Services is looking for a maintenance tech. Oil changes, tires, general maintenance. 100% paid health insurance, match 401k, paid holidays, paid vacation. The right person can make $600 per week. Call 501-375-3672.
So Ellis brings it up with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play. Lawson pops out to L, dribble handoff, three-pointer good. L. Ellis from the left wing. Ellis with 5 in the half.
Nice game from L. Ellis tonight. 3 of 11 from the field, but he made all 8.
But the aggression, I like the aggression, getting to the line.
Yeah, 15 total points, and as Coach Musselman pointed out on their postgame show, a career-high 6 rebounds for L. Ellis. That's a sore spot for me. Trevin Brazil had 5 rebounds tonight. Trevin Brazile played 34 minutes and 20 seconds. He almost played 35 minutes. Had 6 rebounds, 5 defensive rebounds. No offensive rebounds. 5 defense. It's hard to get an offensive rebound when you're hanging out at the 3-point line. When you're 6'11", 7 foot tall, please go in and at least try to get an offensive rebound. But 5 rebounds, 1 every 7 minutes, is not going to cut it for somebody that's 6'11". And A&M killed Arkansas on the boards tonight. They had 19 offensive rebounds. 19. Arkansas had 3 offensive rebounds all night long. And really, they were only credited with 2 of those were team rebounds, when the ball goes out of bounds. Devo had the only offensive rebound from a player tonight.
Yeah, and the offensive ones are obviously the ones that kill you because those can just turn into points, right? I mean, those are right next to the basket. A lot of times they turn into second chance points. And Wes, we check out that category, it does match up, right? It's 25-9 in terms of second chance points.
And that stat can't be right. Arkansas couldn't have 9 second chance points. Because they only had 3 offensive rebounds. There's something wrong there that doesn't add up.
Exactly. So it's actually worse than that. And you and I talked about this in the break a second ago. Henry Coleman didn't play, and Henry Coleman averaged 11 points, 8 rebounds a game. He's their best interior player. So this could have been even worse than it actually was. The toughness of Brazile. And I mean, the desire to go crash the glass. You mentioned there was a play where L. Ellis, I think it was L. Ellis, went to the rim.
L. Ellis. It was basically a 2-on-1 fast break, and L. Ellis, and there was a trailer for A&M. L. Ellis drives to the basket, and he missed a left-handed layup. Trevin Brazile ran out to the wing and was waiting for a ball for a 3-point shot on a fast break.
Right.
You're 6'11". You can do the alley-oop. They do that all the time. And even if he doesn't throw you the oop, you're right there for the missed rebound.
They even tell you that sometimes as a driver, like if you've got a guy beat and help's coming over or help is there, or you understand you got 2 guys, you're actually okay to throw the shot up, right? Because you're supposed to get that opportunity. He should be there. And even if he's not there, he's athletic enough to go and crash and actually kind of almost, overcome a defender who might be in that area because he's such a good athlete. But I'm not sure, Wes, if it's awareness. I don't think it is. I think it's more of a desire thing. I think it's a desire and toughness thing. I think it's pretty clear at this point. This is not a guy who wants to crash the glass. I think when you're that big and you have the potential to be that skilled, you think about, all right, it almost seems like he plays like Michael Porter Jr. Like he almost thinks that he should be this big, long guy should be in the perimeter, but he's got some thickness to him, and he should be able to play around the rim and at least crash the glass, but he can't even do that.
There was one time tonight where Arkansas had the ball. They did a little pick and roll, a switch, and the small guard was on Brazile. He was about 6 feet from the basket. I'm like, post him up, go to work. You know what he did?
Jab? Did he do the jab thing?
No, he ran out to the 3-point line. I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
You have a guy that's about 8 inches smaller than you, maybe more, and you've got him down the low block, and you run back out to the 3-point line.
And here's the thing: if he wants to be an NBA player, Wes, that's not going to cut it. I mean, what's the entire point of like all NBA offense is generate mismatches, right? So how is this going to work at the next level? If they're like, all right, we got you the matchup we want here, Trevin, and he's like, nah, I'm going to go out. Yeah, it's not going to go well for him. It's not.
We had Miss Linda wrote in on the Southern Structural Solutions text line, and she wants to know why Arkansas keeps blowing these 20-point leads.
How many of these have they blown?
Well, they blew the one here at North Little Rock when they were up big.
Right. Okay, there's that.
So this may be the second one that they've blown.
You could argue too many.
Yeah.
At that point, this one I think you can attribute to 2 things: the offensive rebounding and the pace of the game. It's a lot easier to cut into a lead when the clock's not running and you're at the line. And even as well as Arkansas shot the ball, it makes it a lot easier if that is the case because the game's not going by as fast. So that to me is why. Sure, it's an issue, yes, but once again, if they're winning games constantly and blowing leads, or close to winning games and blowing leads a lot, that's a huge issue. But they won tonight and they're not blowing leads a lot. They're getting in massive holes. That's kind of actually the big issue for Arkansas generally.
We'll wrap it up when we come back. We'll take a look at the rest of the night in the SEC and look ahead to Saturday's game. Stick around. This is the Gwatney Automotive Postgame Show on the Buzz Radio Network.
Arkansas's #1 Chevy dealer, is a proud sponsor of the big game. Since 1957, Gwatney has had its own winning team. And with brand new team member Devo Davis, they can't lose.
I'm proud to know I have the support of my personal hometown dealership, Gwatney Chevrolet. Trading with Gwatney is a slam dunk.
Gwatney Chevrolet, 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Call 982-2102. GwatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Go Gwatney or go home.
Injured at the game? Don't wait. With Ortho Arkansas's Saturday Sports Clinic, athletes can find out over the weekend if their injury will sideline their season. Athletes are seen by one of Ortho Arkansas's fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians and may receive x-rays, an MRI, an exam and diagnosis, and a personalized comprehensive treatment plan to get them back in action as quickly as possible. Open Saturdays from 9 to 11 a.m. at 800 Fair Park Boulevard in Midtown. Ortho for all. Ortho Arkansas.
First Security has been putting our home state first since 1932, helping fellow Arkansans and their families buy homes, grow businesses, and build futures. Today, First Security is still committed to helping you bank better, providing local solutions and local support in the places we love too. It's community banking with people you know and people you know you can count on. First Security. Bank better. fsbank.com. Member FDIC.
This year, elevate your style in a Cadillac. Go from bold to bolder in a stunning Escalade. From inspiring to awe-inspiring in a sophisticated CT4 or CT5. From credible to incredible in a dynamic XT4. Visit your Central Arkansas Cadillac dealers.
This is Pat Bradley for River City Flooring, where you can pick your payment. Get 0% interest for 12, 24, or 36 months, and River City Flooring in Maumelle is where you'll save 50% on all in-stock waterproof LVP flooring. And did you know River City Flooring carries cabinets? So stop in and let my friends at River City Flooring help you with your remodel. Kitchen, bath, living, dining, they do it all. Check out River City Flooring in Maumelle at their huge new showroom on Maumelle Boulevard just off 430.
Rowdy Hog Pickleball is the only dedicated pickleball store in Arkansas. Whether you love to dink or smash, their sales professionals can help you choose a paddle that fits your needs. Rowdy Hog Pickleball has everything you need to practice at home and play on the court. Get out of the kitchen and stop by to talk to one of their professionals to ace the new year. Located in the Outlet Mall down from H&M, Rowdy Hog Pickleball, your one-stop shop to pickleball success.
Listen to Out of Bounds every day to hear about what's trending on social media and whether listeners agree or disagree. Engaging conversations about engaging topics. Sponsored by Arkansas-based West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock and their 1.5 million coffee farmers around the globe as they fuel Arkansans with great-tasting coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA. That's 833-886-5282. Call today.
Taylor's three has given A&M the lead. Here we go. They throw it into Mark. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Tremont going to head to the basket, throws it up at the horn. It's good. 1.1 to go. Arkansas is going to win the game. A&M threw it in. The ball went out of bounds, and the Hogs win it. The Hogs win the ball game. Tremont Mark with a basket. What a finish at Bud Walton Arena. How about that?
How many times we heard that? 3?
Not
4?
enough.
It doesn't
Not
get old.
enough.
Not tonight. Does not get old. Hey, got a little clarification here from one of our listeners. Smart dude. Arkansas got 4 second chance points on dead ball rebounds. Okay. 2 of those were on Brazil's free throws right before the end of the half. That's technically second chance points, but they don't get credit for the offensive rebound, but it was an offensive dead ball rebound. So
makes sense.
Yeah. Even though they only had actually 1 offensive rebound,
the entire night.
there were 2 dead ball rebounds that they scored off of. So I guess they scored on all 3 of their opportunities. That's a good percentage.
Yeah, that is good.
Oh, thank you, Chris. It was a good night in the SEC. There was a couple of good games, and if you like high scoring players in the SEC, this was a huge night.
Yeah, it was a huge night. That's right, Wes. Well, the big story, I think, nationally, is actually going to be in the Missouri and Alabama game. Alabama wins 93-75 over Missouri. But the big story is Nate Oates pushed a Missouri player, and he apologized to Dennis Gates afterwards. But I think there's going to be some consternation, some talk about, from the officials maybe too, in the league office, and also too, I think around the sport about, hey, what's acceptable for college coaches to do. So I think there'll be talk about that. Tennessee, 85, Florida, 66, Dalton Connect. Well, he had a 36-point game the other day. Tonight he goes for 39 against the Gators. Really impressive stuff from him. He is an outstanding scorer. Georgia goes on the road and beats South Carolina, who is coming to Fayetteville next weekend, or this coming weekend, I should say. 74-69. The Dogs are now 3-1 in the SEC. And then the last game we had to mention, Arkansas beats Texas A&M 78-77. The Hogs have gotten their first SEC win of the season. They're now 1-3, 10-7 overall. They play South Carolina this weekend, a very winnable game. I expect Arkansas to be favored in that one, Wes. So a chance to build a little bit of momentum.
The first win for Josh Neighbors on the Gwatney Automotive Postgame Show.
We're looking for my first win at Walk-Ons on Saturday.
First win of the year.
Yes.
They hadn't won a game since December 30th.
That's a very good
First
point.
win of 2024. Yes.
Good.
Saturday, we're back at Walk-Ons. We invite you to come on out and join us for that noon tip against South Carolina. Big thanks to Walk-Ons for having us out there for the post-game show. Of course, tonight with the weather, they closed a little early, so probably a good thing that we're not still at Walk-Ons right now, as they're trying to walk out of Walk-Ons at 12:30 with the post-game show going on. But it was a great night for Razorback basketball. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the one that turns the entire season around. For Damon, thank you, sir. Great job. Josh Neighbors, I'm Wess Moore. Have a great night, and thanks for listening.